tonight, monster game. The team they beat on Sunday, monster game this weekend. Dallas and Minnesota. Cowboys blew a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter last week. Yesterday, on First Take, Jimmy Johnson called in, and he was talking about the loss. He called out the players who need to step up this week against Minnesota.
You look against the Packers, a game which, I felt like they should have won. If CeeDee Lamb goes in front of the safety instead of going behind him, it wouldn't have been an interception. And that one touchdown could have been the difference in the ball game. So you look at the supporting cast has got to play better, as well as Dak. I'm not saying Dak's played fantastic. No, he hasn't been as sharp since he's come back from the injury.
So much conversation about Dak Prescott in the show, and I guess that's what comes with being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, right? That's why Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman and Tony Romo, and now here it is for Dak. The question was Dak the problem on Sunday, and going forward, is he the reason they're going to win, or is he the reason you have questions?
Listen, last week I was here and I had Tad on my show, and he put his top 10 list when I said he wasn't top 10. It's not a knock on him. It's not nothing wrong with being Jimmy Butler in the NBA, right? He's a good player, but he has to show us that he can step up and he can elevate his team when the guy across from him is considered a upper echelon quarterback. Listen, I've always said, the mark of if you're above Kirk Cousins, you're good. If you're below him, then you're average. And right now, Kirk Cousins is playing at a level we haven't seen him play at underneath this new offense. They're going to get a lot of the same with Dalvin Cook and running the football. Justin Jefferson might be the best receiver in the game. So Dak is going to have to answer. He's going to have to respond, because this isn't going to be one of those games where the defense of Dallas is just going to be able to dominate. You see what they're getting desperate, because they've made some additions on the defensive line. They thought Hankins was enough. That wasn't enough. They went out and got one of Dan Quinn's former teammates, Tariq, I forget his name. They hired another defensive lineman.
Right.
They're afraid that teams can run the ball on them, and that neutralizes Michael Parsons.
Well, look, so that maybe this becomes more of a Dalvin Cook game than it is a Justin Jefferson game. One where it's an interesting way you look at it. Kirk Cousins, they call it the Mendoza line in baseball. And maybe it's the Cousins line in football. You got to be above that. we all think Dak is above that, right? Do you know that the Cowboys are favored in this game? Do you know that the Vikings are 8-1, coming off one of the biggest wins in the NFL this entire season? They're playing at home, and the Cowboys are a 1.5-point favorite on the road.
That's kind of crazy. But the fate of the Cowboys relies on Dak. The fate of this team relies on his performance.
How so?
How so? You look at the Packers game. Those 2 interceptions were costly. That was the game. Basically the game. That's points. So if the Dallas Cowboys have expectations and aspirations to become Super Bowl champions, it relies on the quarterback. It relies on Dak to be a top 10 quarterback, not to be average. If he's an average quarterback and he makes the plays like we saw against Green Bay, they are not going to have a deep playoff run. They're not going to be a Super Bowl team. So for the Cowboys to go to a Super Bowl, Dak has to be a superstar. He cannot be average. If he's average, they're just an average team.
No, I think that's fair. I think you can go to the Super Bowl with average quarterback play, but it's really hard.
You have to not making that much money because the supporting cast isn't what he had last year.
What do you think?
I thought Jimmy Butler was a great comparison, because he is a guy that has elevated his team, right, beyond where a lot of people thought it would go. And he is a guy that has taken teams to the finals, even if you don't call him a top. So, I think Dak has to be that guy. Look, I think Ezekiel Elliott could be back this week. Maybe they hold him out one more week because they have the Thanksgiving game, but that makes them more whole in the run game, so they can maybe lean on that even more than as much as people wanted them to in the fourth quarter last week. I think that the thing to watch is the defense. Dak, I think, is going to be Dak. You had a 28-14 lead in the fourth quarter. The defense has to hold it. DeMarcus Lawrence listed as a did not practice yesterday. If you're banged up on that defensive line, then Dallas is going to have a lot of problems that Dak can't overcome.
There are a variety of reasons they lost that game, and I get it. The defense is supposed to hold the 2-touchdown lead, but the offense has to stay on the field a little more. They only ran 14 plays from that point forward. So there's a little bit of everything that goes into a loss that painful. Meanwhile, what does the table think? Let's take a look at the picks. All right, but once again, we are split. Once again, the wrong side of the table likes the Cowboys over here. The players.
Minnesota, when you have a win like you had last week, the momentum is on your side. You start believing that you're a team of destiny. That was a quality win against a great opponent, arguably the best opponent in all of football. I understand there was a little luck involved in it, but sometimes better be lucky than good. This team is confident. This team is playing at a high level, and they have bona fide superstars. and Kirk Cousins is playing, I believe, at an MVP caliber level, and we have to start giving him credit and stop saying that he's solar powered.
You know what? When Michael Irvin said before the season that his MVP was Kirk Cousins, we all laughed a little bit. Maybe Michael is going to wind up laughing last. We'll see. As we continue, another quarterback we talked about with MVP is suddenly having a very... I said they're better off now because they've lost a game. Would that be fact or fiction?
That would be fact. I mean, it's always better to kind of, get the monkey off your back, so to speak. And also the things that get swept under the rug when you win and you do bad things that help you lose, don't get corrected. Yeah. But now everybody had to go analyze every play. Everybody got to say, we got to be better. We can't turn the ball over. We can't have bad penalties. Trust me, it's right.
No, I trust.
Don't give me that look, Greeny.
No, yeah, losing is great. I mean, you want to do it as much.
You learn more from losing and winning, Gross.
Well,
people get comfortable.
What I have learned the last couple of weeks, listening to you fine gentlemen, is that everyone should try and lose their first game of the season.
No, that's not it.
And if you mess up and accidentally win it,
that's not it.
Definitely try and lose week 2, because the worst thing is to win every single game.
It is.
And feel like you're better than everybody else. Yep. Like that's terrible, man.
False sense of security.
They should probably lose again just to be sure.
They should. False sense of security.
Colts.
What happens is
you get a true sense of security.
You get people's attention when you lose. Yeah. People get chewed out when you lose, because now you got to analyze everything. You hold people accountable. I bet you're gonna play with their hair on fire against the Saturdays on Sunday this week.
Maybe.
So for those of you who were not with us last week, basically at this time, we had this argument.
Where's Dominique?
In which these two guys, Nick was on our side.
He's not allowed to
fire on our side. And again, you guys were part of really good teams, and so you saw it. You have long runs. That there is something about suffering a first loss. A, the coaches have the opportunity to bring people's attention to tail, and B, that there was just some element of relief that the pressure, whatever exactly that is, of trying to go unbeaten is removed from your team. So you think this will actually benefit the Eagles?
Well, didn't A.J. Brown right after the game say we could put the undefeated?
No, he did. No, he just thinks he made it up.
Yeah,
he just made it up. He didn't mean it.
I'll play it.
Let's see.
Alternative facts.
This was A.J. Brown after the game. Cindy, go ahead.
Roll it.
I know guys got long faces, but me personally, of course I want to win, but now all this 17-0 over with. Like, now we're gonna wake up, and how you gonna respond?
Adversity. It doesn't develop character. It rebuilds it.
Bart was talking the whole time.
So listen, just like our picks, the table has been divided, and on this, the players are divided with the professionals on the other side.
That was a nice way to describe us. Here's the thing.
I just don't get it. Like, I understand this is how players think, but I just don't. Is there no one in that locker room who's going, dang, it would have been awesome to be 17?
Nobody care about that. They care about a championship. Nobody care about winning every day.
You know that it's unrealistic, and you don't want to be sitting there with these unrealistic expectations. What you want in your realistic expectations is to win a Super Bowl. And with all the pressures that go into it, as the professionals apply the pressure, it mounts. And I know, look, I know that's where
you start getting exclusive. You start acting.
I know.
Nobody wants to do a sit down with Dan Grouser.
Let me change the question then. They've lost a game. The pursuit of perfection, whatever. Bob Greasy is down there drinking champagne, celebrating. So there will be no perfect team in the NFL this season. Did you see anything from the Eagles that changes your perspective on them being the best team? Do they remain, in your mind, the best team in the NFC?
Run game. They got to stop the run. You have to stop the run. And if you're playing against a team, especially in the playoffs, and that other team is running the ball successfully, it opens up a lot more issues. It opens up the intermediate routes. It opens up the play action pass, puts more pressure on your secondary. So for the Eagles, after this loss, they're going to have to reevaluate, okay, up front, yes, we have the pass rushers. Yes, we have the personnel. But we need to tighten up a little bit in the run game. We need to be stouter up front.
Well, they play keep away, right? And, Jordan Davis wasn't there. What did they do? They signed Linval Joseph because they identified that they have to be able to stop the run because teams are going to play keep away. Yeah. And when you do that, anything can happen because if you have one turnover, now what happens is the game is shortened and you have an opportunity to lose.
All of us who know Jeff Saturday know that the Eagles are going to see the running game this weekend, right? There's nothing in the world Jeff Saturday wants to do more than run the football. He's going to run it at the Eagles on Sunday.
So look at what they got coming up. They got Jonathan Taylor on Sunday. They got the Packers after that. We know they have running backs that can do it. They got Derrick Henry after that. Saquon Barkley after that. Justin Fields after that. Like, they got to figure out how to stop the run.
It's going to be some 907.
going to be really feeling great about themselves because they're going to be losing all the time.
No,
they can't do. They'll do.
You're going to put the pads on today.
The bottom line of it is this.
Putting pressure on them. They don't even listen.
The 1 seed in the NFL on both sides of the draw is unprecedentedly valuable in the new playoff format. That's what they need to make sure they hang on to. Much more. We are back on Get Up, and the game is called Fact or Fiction. Hey, Graziano, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are a lock for the 1 seed. Is that fact or fiction?
It's fiction. There are 5 teams within 1 game of them right now, 3 others within 2 games, half a season to go. The Baltimore Ravens don't play another team with a winning record until week 18. You can make the Chiefs the favorite, and I might agree with you, but a lock, no way.
All right, like it. Ninko, let's go to your old buddy Brady. If I said Tom Brady is poised for another Super Bowl run, is that fact or fiction?
Fiction. We're talking Super Bowl run?
Yes.
Fiction. I know the game in Germany was awesome, but guess what? They had a lot of, what is it, Steins of beer? Is that
sure,
what maybe?
Steins.
Yeah, Stein. Yeah, they had maybe a few after the game because it was a great win, but I don't see them in a Super Bowl run. That's fiction.
A Stein and a Schnitzel after the ball game, you feel good?
Yeah.
Bart, how about the Eagles?